Hello everyone, welcome to Kyber interview. I'm Thomas Hu, founder and CEO of Kyber Capital. Joining us today is YC Chung, founder and CEO of Lubn Technology. Welcome, YC.
Thank you, Thomas. I'm glad to be here.
We know that the Lubn just won the 2019 Innovation Award for Smart Home Solutions at the Consumer Electronics Show at Las Vegas. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So can you give us a sense of what is Lubn? What motivated you to do this new company?
Sure. Lubn is a company really focusing on, we call this estate tech technology. Our vision has been we want to democratize autonomous property management with trust. We founded this company about 3 years ago in 2016, February 22nd. Me and my co-founder bootstrapped for 2 years. We built up the first version, which we call this MVP. It's basically a Lubn box. We've been trying to help people like me. The pain point is, people like me I used to work for Microsoft, and I was juggling between several different kind of tasks. Working in Microsoft, leading a design effort, as well as being a father of 2 young kids, and also manage my rental property. And I found it's extremely difficult. And so I decided to work on this project on trying to solve this pain point by technology. Therefore, I worked with my co-founder in the past couple of years to build this MVP. It's essentially a platform to help property managers to give the freedom back to them so that they can focus on what's the most in their lives.
So in other words, you're trying to build a very smart platform for
property management.
Absentee landlords globally to manage their properties scattering across the world very efficiently and very safely.
That's right. And so, when we talk about property management, when I interview with several different friends, people are, either realtors in the United States or property management to help their clients manage their rental properties, or even Airbnb host. And I think the result was consistent. Like people try to spend a lot of time in dealing with the chores when they manage the properties. For example, they need to be physically at the properties and manage the contractors in and out to the properties, and that takes a lot of time. Right? Think about on average, a property manager spend like 90 minutes to take a trip from their office to the properties, and spend another 30 minutes with their clients or contractors, and then come back. That's 90 minutes on average. And it's tedious. It takes a lot of time. And when I was managing my rental properties, a lot of time I have to sacrifice my son's soccer game. And it's really big sacrifice to me. I really want to spend more time with my family. Therefore, I was trying to figure out, hey, can we solve this by technology? Like, what if we can build a device and a software combined to help freedom to set up the freedom and give the time back to the property managers like me. And so we developed this first LTE connected Smart Key Box that can safely keep the keys in the device and also collect the data in terms of who actually entered the property at what time and stay for how long, at where, and when this person exit the property. So once we have this data, we send it back because it's LTE connected device, we send this data directly to the cloud. And so as a property managers, I will be able to receive the real-time information about how, what is the performance of these contractors and how is my property doing. So I have all those handy information at the palm of my hand.
So it sounds like if we take a step back and look at not only just the U.S. commercial property market or rental property market, but globally, right? Clearly, this machine intelligence platform will be a very important tool to increase the values of the properties by enhancing efficiency and also creating more data-driven insights for managers and investors and also the users to really understand about not only just the properties themselves, but also how to better utilize those properties in realizing their goals or whatnot. And so, have you discussed any of those opportunities with any, property developers or realtor or property agents or even banks in adopting Lubn platform to enhance their portfolios or creating better solutions for their users?
Yeah, this is a great question. The best example would be WeWork, right? Right now, Lubn has this headquarters in Seattle, and we are right now, our office in WeWork. And WeWork, as you know, they are probably the biggest property management company in the world. They are managing a lot of commercial buildings, and once their global security director stopped by our office, and they saw what we are doing, and they were really interested in trying it out. The reason why our technology helped WeWork is we bring the transparency, we bring the flexibility, we bring these standalone solutions to enterprise, to commercial buildings. If you look at today, commercial building in the U.S., there are a lot of doors hardwired, right? You don't really know who actually entered the property, and because they are hardwired, either they are very reliant on the power consumptions in the buildings in case of fire or in case of emergency when the power is out. All those data will not be able to be collected. And that's exactly why WeWork is trying to work with us. They try to figure out if there is a standalone solutions to help them deal with those kind of situations. So we stand out from that perspective. And therefore, right now, WeWork Seattle is piloting our products.
So this is Lubn, right?
This is the Lubn box.
Okay,
That's right.
So this is the version 2.
That's true.
So can you maybe walk us through all those details, right?
Sure.
I see a camera here.
Yes. So this is our second version. We in the second version we have some unique feature here. One is we have this embedded camera that will do the visual authentication for the managers.
The facial recognition.
Right now, not yet face recognition. We are recognizing the visitor's itinerary. Okay. So let me show you this itinerary first. So upon manager's agreement, we will send an itinerary to the visitors. And so visitors, they doesn't have to install an app. They carry this. It's like a boarding pass, right? Your boarding pass, you carry this, you stop by the property, and at the property, you scan this QR code, right? And if all of the information are correct, we will dispense the keys to you. When check out, this is what we call check-in experience, right? When check out, you wake up the device, wait for a few seconds. When the device is ready, you see the light give you the indication, and then you give the key back. At the same time, because it's LTE connected device, it sends the data right to the cloud, and so therefore the manager can see who actually exit the properties at what time. And because we know the size of the property, we know how much time this person stay in the properties. Therefore, we know the performance of this person. For example, if this is a service provider like house cleaning, for example, then we can, calculate, how much time she or he spend in the properties and perform her job.
And making sure that they're not just clocking their work, but actually doing the work.
They're doing the work,
yeah.
Right?
So I see that this is a very unique because comparing to many so-called smart lock solutions, they're trying to replace the door lock with an intelligent device. Whereas what Lubn is trying to do is just to attach a key box with minimum replacement cost, but also giving the freedom and connectivity and the security.
That's right.
To a property manager by dispensing the key to authenticated users who have been granted the access right.
That's true.
To the environment, right?
Uh-huh.
So is this a more cost-effective
right.
solution?
And so this is what we call on-demand access control. On-demand means you have it, you install this when you need it. And so when you don't need it, you just take it away. Super portable, super flexible for property managers. Like what you said, Thomas, you don't have to change the configuration of your existing, constructions. All you need to do is click on this device, around anywhere you feel like safe around your buildings, you can start to manage your properties. And, because it's so on demand, it makes sense to a lot of realtors, for example, or property managers who are trying to rent out the property for their clients. Think about the scenario, right? When the property is listed on the market, it's only be there for, like, say, 2 or 3 weeks. You are trying to open the door for your potential tenants or applicants to enter the properties. After that, the applicants or the tenant take over, right? Then you don't need this device to be there, so you uninstall this. And super easy to install this device. You click on this device and you walk away. It's LTE devices, so you can remotely control this device. If someone say, I just thought about to stop by this property without prior scheduling, you can still do that, right? As long as this visitor lets you know when he stopped by the properties, you can grant the access remotely directly from your manager app and the key will be dispensed. And we will also take a picture of these visitors and send it to your dashboard or your app so you know who exactly take the keys and who actually return it.
Yeah, this sounds pretty amazing because you can pretty much become your own Airbnb, right? You can have this key box installed at several of your properties, and then you can manage those properties in and out, access control at this cloud solution, at cloud platform. And then with all those insights, I will very quickly see this becoming an enterprise level solution, and that will not only drive better performance of those properties, but also may become a very important data source for credit decision at the banks or at some lending investment firms, right? Have you had that kind of a discussion?
That's a great insight, Thomas. And so what we're building is a platform. If you think about this device, just strip out the cover, right? Strip out the shell of this device, the platform, the camera, the solar panel, the firmware that we're building, the cloud services that we're building, they can be easily migrated to commercial buildings, safe, right? The storage, even like car doors, a lot of possible scenario now, uncovered. Once this can be built in the commercial buildings, like for use bank, for example, who actually entered the bank, who closed the bank, right? So another example would be, say, Starbucks, right? Or a lot of retail stores. The store owner doesn't have to wake up every day in the early morning, open the door for their employees, and stay very late to close the door for their employees. The first shift will be different from the last shift. So you know who exactly opened the door, and you can manage all those different personas. Say, for example, the delivery guys, the employees, the maintainers, the laborers. You can manage all those portfolios in your dashboard.
So what kind of data can you collect at this version 2? And in your future roadmap, are there more sensory data points that you can collect and even process, utilize, or monetize on your platform?
And so I like to take this question to another level. When we work on this project, we don't necessarily look into just the assets, right? We look at the overall customer journey, right? From at the beginning when landlord trying to handle their investment properties, to at the end when the landlord hire the property managers, and property managers find the tenants for the landlord, and all those transactions after that. How does the managers get the payment from the tenant, and how does the managers split the payment back to the landlord. All those are in our roadmap. Basically, we look at the end-to-end customer journey and try to understand what are those touch points, right? Yes, access is the number one problem that we want to solve. Once we grant the visitor access to the buildings, there are more things that we want to collect, or more data that we want to summarize for the property manager and inform them better business decisions. I give you an example. From the access perspective, we capture the photos of these visitors, and that's upon the agreement, right? So after the visitors successfully checked in, we send the photo of this visitor to the managers. And also we capture time, locations, the power consumptions, and there's a safety feature here. If someone tries to tamper this device, there's a G sensor inside. If you shake it, it knows. It will take a picture of this person, whatever that's in front of this device, and send it to the property managers. So managers gets to know, in real time, they know what's going on out there. Along the way, in the futures, we will develop more technologies to help property managers be more efficient when they want to give the tour for their clients or potential tenants. Once they get into the properties, how can we help them to be smarter, be more efficient when they manage their properties?
We hear a lot about edge computing and artificial intelligence and big data-driven future. And Lubn sounds like a very good example of how technology may be able to help a very old industry, such as real estate.
That's right.
But despite all those hypes, we know the reality and the vision sometimes are very far apart. Can you give us a sense of what's available in the marketplace in terms of smart home technology or edge computing capability, sure. and how far are we to that kind of a bright future, and how close is Lubn
Sure.
can get us there?
To talk about edge computing, I think we need to first understand today how it works, and then why edge computing is there. Traditionally, when I say traditionally, it's just like a few years ago, a lot of IoT devices are collecting data, and especially for our LTE Category M devices, I call this dumb device because it doesn't do much at the local side, at the device side. It collects the data and sends back to the cloud. And our cloud system takes the heavy lifting work, do the cloud computing and spit out the data and summarize it and send it to the manager's dashboard. But we know the data is expensive. Like how much data that we transmit from the device to the cloud, each bit is money, right?
Yes.
So we have to be cost sensitive. So a lot of back and forth from the device and between the device and the cloud is not necessarily smart, right? So therefore, when the 5G is coming, how does the 5G work with edge computing? Meaning edge computing will share those heavy lifting work that we used to have on the server side, and then we'll share that computing power on the local side.
So that will be baked into the pricing model as well, I suppose, because the spectrum allocation between the edge and the main cloud will decide how do you charge your consumers, right?
There is a fine line we need to draw. Basically, when we design the system, we need to be very careful about what are the scenarios that we are talking about, so we can better allocate the amount of computing powers on the local side versus on the cloud side. And so, for example, I give you an example how we can. Edge computing is relatively new. Like right now, only some companies are working on the edge computing chip. And it's very power consumption sensitive. When we talk about computing power, it's all related to the energy consumption. So it needs to be efficient. It needs to be smart, right? So for example, I give you an example like the manager can pre-save some I would say, visitors' image locally to create this whitelist, if you will. And so for those people, for those, like say, for example, I use these contractors quite often. They don't need my additional permission because we know each other, we have the trust, right? So I can put them on the whitelist. So once these contractors stop by, the camera capture the image. The camera on the local side, it understand this is, say, Thomas, right? Try to stop by. Then I don't need to give Thomas another permission to enter. The device will give the permission.
But how do you ensure the integrity and security of all these setup? And obviously people will care a lot about the privacy, right? If you stored a lot of those sensitive information, no matter it's at the edge or in the cloud, right, still there will be concerns, right? What if these things are leaked, or that more regulation about how to fairly use those data are being introduced?
That's right. And so we need to, then we talk about the contract between the managers and whoever want to enter the properties. We need to help managers to set up this contract. And so, of course, managers will need to get consent from these people in order to store this face or photos locally. In terms of the security, I think 5G provides a lot of much secure sort of framework comparing with 4G. That is what we're going to rely on the 5G technology. And in terms of the recognition, we can definitely take those data. Right now, all those big names you can heard about, Azure, AWS, they have very restricted. They spend a lot of resource to protect their data, to make sure that the data is not, gonna fall into the wrong person's hand. And so I think, but if we use the existing framework from security perspective, we should be on the good hand. Plus the 5G framework.
So the Lubn box in version 2 right now is available in the United States only at this point?
Right now, V2, this is Lubn Box 2. It's not yet available. Our ETA for the first batch is at the end of July.
This year?
2019.
This year,
2019.
Okay.
And so we've been bombarded by a lot of requests from different areas.
Including Japan, I suppose. Yeah.
That's right. And so this time in CES, we have, I'd say, just almost everywhere in the world. The vendors, the dealers, they stop by our booths and try to understand when this product will be available in their area. North America, United States for sure, Canada. Surprisingly, this time we have a lot of Japanese companies stop by our booths and express their interest. Australia, Europe, a lot of let's just say Norway, Finland, France, Italy, South of Africa even.
Almost everywhere. Yeah.
Almost everywhere. It's a global play. It's not just one country, right? Access control itself is huge.
So I suppose the venture capital firms around the globe will be looking at this very closely. Have you got any invitation to a deal discussion yet?
Right now, after CES, there are some big names. I just, right now, let's not disclose that part, but I can tell you there are some big companies, well-known companies. They stop by our booths and give us cards and try to want to have next steps discussion.
So looking ahead, what do you want to take Lubn to? Right? What would be your ultimate goal? And looking at from your previous 3 years of starting up, there were challenges, and then going forward there will be different challenges.
That's right.
What is your strategy?
Sure. And so, again, our goal is to democratize autonomous property management with trust. We believe that a property would be just like your assets in the bank, right? Today, people spend a lot of efforts to manage the property in order to generate revenue. Either you collect the rent or you put it on the Airbnb and have this on the short-term rental market or share economy, if you will. But you still need to spend a lot of time to deal with those chores. Our goal is try to imagine this. One day, your property, your investment property, will be just like a machine to help you generate the revenues, and with very little. It doesn't really bother you, right? So you don't have to day and night, be physically at the properties. You can, just lay back, enjoy your freedom, enjoy your time with your family. It'll be like we can create a portfolio for you. You can just look at the screen on your hand, and you understand the performance of your properties. So over time, it's just like breathing, right? There is not much effort from manager perspective or landlord perspective. It starts to generate the revenues for you.
So I understand that one other very unique feature about Lubn is that you have a female chief technology officer, and she's been very, very helpful to not only building up the product but also shaping the roadmap for the future. Right. And then you're managing a team that has multiple offices. The headquarters in Seattle, and the engineering team is based in Taiwan. Mm-hmm. How do you motivate the team in this kind of a global setup, so to speak? And do you find this kind of a setup competitive, or does it bring any advantage for you to compete in this very, very competitive industry?
Yeah, I think variety is, there are a couple of core sort of cultures that we try to set up in our company. We want to be user-centric. We want to maintain transparency. We want to have varieties in the companies. All these are, shaping this company. And I think, I'm so happy to have Autumn join us. She, as a co-founder, has taken a lot of heavy lifting tasks, doing a lot of, works behind the scenes, a lot of magic. Having Autumn as a female co-founder is just phenomenal to us as a company. And I think if you look at today, I think the data from Y Combinator is like only 17% of the startup has female founders. And we're one of them. And talking about the company location, right now, yes, our headquarters is in Seattle. Also, we have R&D team, which is led by Autumn, located in Taiwan. The way we divide and conquer, right, is the team in Seattle, they'll handle the design work and the marketing and outreach to our potential customers and do the business development. And the team in Taiwan to help us manage the factories and develop the backend technologies and build up the core technologies for our target customers. And so once we have this setup, we feel like it's super powerful because Taiwan has this well-known manufacturing power and create really high-quality hardware product. That's why I think have a team in Taiwan helps us a lot, and we gain a lot of competitive advantage when we have a team that can locally in near the company near the factories and monitor and work with the factory to ensure the quality and the outcome of the based on our design.
So design in Seattle, made in Taiwan, and hopefully we'll take on the world.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, then, YC. We look forward to hearing more good news.
Thank you.
From Lubn.
Will do.
Thank you.